Prepare to shelter in place. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. It's been a while we talked about this topic, but let's talk about it. Winter coming on, the increased threats around the world, shortages, potential for, very high potential for increased violence during the election cycle. A lot going on. It might behoove you to be ready to shelter in place. Before I get into talking about this stuff, and the main point of the video though, if you could please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it. Hit the notification bell for all, so they might actually tell you when I put up videos, unless I'm being shadowed, you know what I'm talking about. Hit that thumbs up, please. Share the videos, comment below. And if you feel like helping out the channel, which would be greatly appreciated, there's a little heart with thanks in it. Super thanks. Like I said, it'd be greatly appreciated if you feel so inclined to. We're also talking about a lot of good stuff right now on Patreon. Links in the description below. It's $1 a month. I can speak my mind there without being shut down. Put it that way. I don't have to use all these code words and stuff. So that's why I like that. Other than that, if this was, it's not about the money. If this platform was available for me to be able to talk, I would probably just do this platform. But the fact is what it is. So yeah, if you want to hear the real dope, go over there. But anyway, so prepare to shelter in place. Why? Why would I want to stay in place? Well, for one thing, it's way better than bugging out. Bugging in is way, in most, well, in a lot of situations, it is way better. Because you already have your supplies there, you already are set up there, you're already comfortable there, you already know the location, you already know the area. Hopefully you have friends and neighbors and stuff like that, like-minded people or just good people around you. If you don't, well then maybe that's a different situation you may find yourself in. But sheltering in place, that keeps you out of the chaos. The chaos at the grocery stores because of inflation or shortages, or the threats of nuclear war, world war, civil war, anything. As well as it keeps you out of the streets and away from potential violence having to do with the election process. People will behave badly. I mean, it is. Leading up to it, it's just going to get worse. And post really matters on who wins. Because if one side wins, we know that other side will completely lose their minds and freak out and do all kinds of stupid things. If the other side wins, well, it may be a little more delayed effect. Because the people that would be worried about that are a little more level-headed and, you know, they have that moral compass thing going on. And I'm speaking in generalities. I get it. It's not clear-cut. It's not black and white. There's so much gray area. And because, I mean, they're all, you know, all those people up there that high up in government are corrupt. I mean, it's just, and if they're not immediately, they soon become corrupt. It's just, it's a broken system. Our founding fathers put in place a way for us to improve it, to perfect it over the years, but instead, our government has worked to diminish it and deplete it and, you know, really ruin it. So think about staying in place. Think about staying home. What do you need to do to prepare yourself to be able to do that, though? That's the big part. If you're not prepared to do this, then you're going to be stuck going out into the chaos, into whatever may happen, and dealing with whatever situation is out there. You put yourself at risk, your family at risk, and maybe others at risk. The best way to avoid a fight is not be where it's at. And that's a plain fact. I was going to say if you want to get into it, well, I wouldn't recommend that. So if you're thinking about that, please don't think about that. It's, you know, your family's worth more than you going out and doing something stupid. Staying level-headed, getting your prep squared away at your location so that you can bug in, shelter in place. Sheltering in place also may be good if there is the whole nuclear thing. Having sheet plastic, tarps, stuff like that, tape to tape up your windows and to avoid as much as possible the fallout. Whether you are in close proximity or far away. Some locations in the United States, you will probably have almost zero worry about nuclear war or fallout. Depending on prevailing winds, depending on how many devices are dropped, stuff like that. But you may be better off staying in place. Because then you won't put yourself in danger and you can do the important things, which is protecting your family. Did the other video, I think it was yesterday's video, about nuclear stuff and how to get through that. So if you haven't seen that video, please go back and watch it. That talks about a lot of good stuff there. Sheltering in place I might include bugging out to an established bug out location. Established meaning structures, stuff like that. Caches, supplies. If the situation you're in is untenable, meaning you can't stay there safely. And that may be because of nuclear war. It may be because there's rioting and looting and burning and everything like that right in your area, where you live, in your neighborhood. Hopefully that's not the case. But not all of us live like I do. Not all of us live rural, where there's very low chance of any kind of chaotic violence due to like election process, stuff like that. People behaving badly. Now, would it get out to me eventually in a long-term event? Yes, of course it would. But immediate threat is not there. Immediate threat may be there for you, though. So staying put, securing your structure, securing your surroundings may be an option. I hate speaking in generalities, though, because it may not be. If you live in an apartment in a downtown area where there's rioting, looting, and burning and stuff like that all around you, you probably don't want to stay put. Probably want to go visit friends, relatives, somewhere else in a little more rural, low population density area. But if you're doing your part as a prepper, they might welcome you in. But if you're not, they may tell you to go pack sand. It depends. The more prepared you are, the more food you have stockpiled, the more water you have on hand, and indoors in a safe environment where it's not going to get contaminated by fallout or stolen by people that are behaving badly, and how well your tribe is established, and who you have watching your back. Who's got your 6? I know who's got my 6. A lot of guys got my 6, and I got theirs. But we may not all be in that situation. So we may just need to take care of our own. May need to have stuff like this standing by, ready to use if we need to defend our families. A lot of times, as situations get worse, getting out and going out and about, as we saw over the past couple years, wasn't necessarily the greatest idea. Now, the shelter in place that was back then was government mandated. Yeah, okay. I didn't abide by it. I didn't care. Actually, I did abide by it, kind of, because I chose to stay put. I chose to not go out to the stores and where people were freaking out. And when I did, I didn't go to the toilet paper and the hand sanitizer and the rubbing alcohol and the masks and the gloves areas. I went to bulk foods, to bulk goods, canned goods, etc. I wasn't in those areas where people were fist fighting over toilet paper because I didn't care. We have a lot of toilet paper, and when we run out, there's a lot of other ways you can wipe your bum. There's a lot of other ways you can do that. This is part about skills, and knowledge is very important. But think about sheltering in place, especially if, grid is down, winter, threats are out there, law enforcement's not doing their job because either they can't they're undermanned, they don't want to, or they're just put in the position where it's overwhelming. That may be the situation. So think about your preps. Think about what that would look like as far as if you had to bug in, shelter in place, and your ability to do so. How long would you be able to do so? And set up plans, have alternate plans in place so that you can get out in a timely manner prior to and or later down the road. Say you want to shelter in place until the initial chaos is over and then get out. Okay? Make sure you got plans, preparations, bug out locations, routes, caches, as well as enough food, water, and supplies to take care of yourself during the time period you feel is adequate that you would be sheltering in place. I love you guys. I want to empower you guys. We don't know what's on the horizon. All we can do is our best to prepare for it, be proactive, not reactive, and understand that prepping is living insurance. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.